To remember the 5 steps to solve equations, we can use the phrase, every cowboy gets nervous sometimes. The E on every reminds us that we should first eliminate parentheses, and we do that by using the distributive property. The C on cowboy reminds us to combine the like terms. Remember to look left of the equal sign, combine like terms there, then look right on the right side of the equal sign and combine like terms there. The G on gets reminds us to get the variable on one side of the equation. The N on nervous tells us to get the numbers on the other side. And we move these terms by adding or subtracting. The S on sometimes reminds us to solve. We want the coefficient on the variable to be 1. To solve for the variable, we multiply or divide. Example 1, we have x plus 4 equals 2. So let's walk through the 5 steps. I see no parentheses, no like terms to combine, and the variable is already on one side. In this video, the first 3 steps will already be done. We'll mainly be focusing on steps 4 and 5. So I have x plus 4 equal 2. I have x on the left side. I need my numbers on the other side. So this would be step 4. So how am I going to move 4 to the other side? Well, I'm going to use inverse operations. What's the inverse operation of addition? That would be subtraction, right? So I subtract 4, of course, from both sides because that's the golden rule for equations. Whatever you do to one side, you must also do to the other. Now, the whole reason you're subtracting 4 is so that those 4's would cancel because 4 minus 4 is 0. You're just left with x. Bring your equal sign straight down. 2 minus 4, that's going to give you negative 2. The 5th and final step is already done for us because the coefficient of this variable is already 1. So x equals negative 2. What we're saying here is that if we put 2 in for x, negative 2 plus 4, we would get 2. Number 2, y minus 3 equals negative 4. Again, first 3 steps are done. There's no parentheses, no like terms to combine, and the variable y is already on the same side. It's on the left side. So our numbers need to be on the other side. So how am I going to move this negative 3 to the other side? This minus sign is, yes, a subtraction sign. It's also negative. So what's the inverse operation of subtraction? That would be addition, right? So I need to add 3 to both sides, draw my equal sign across the problem. Negative 3 plus 3, those are additive inverses, so they equal 0. You're left with just y equals negative 4 plus 3 would be negative 1. So y is negative 1. Again, that 5th and final step is already done for us because the coefficient of y is already 1. Example 3, you have negative 2x equal 4. Remember, this is negative 2 times x. Negative 2 times some number equals 4. All right, so I have x on the left side, my numbers are on the other. So really here is we're only doing step 5 to solve. This coefficient of x needs to be 1. So if this is negative 2 times x, what is the inverse operation of multiplication? How am I going to undo the multiplication? Well, that's division, right? I need to divide both sides by this number being multiplied by x. And this number right here is not 2. This number right here is negative 2. So I divide both sides by negative 2. I divide both sides by negative 2. When I do that, I have negative 2 over negative 2, which is 1. 1 times x is simply x. So x is equal to 4 divided by negative 2, which is negative 2, right? Because negative 2 times negative 2 would give us 4. Example number 4, I have y over negative 4 equals 3. Remember, this horizontal fraction bar is division. It means division. Y divided by negative 4 equals 3. So I have my variable on one side, my numbers on the other. The 5th and final step is to solve. Since I'm dividing by negative 4 here, I need to think to myself, what is the inverse operation of division? And that would be multiplication. So I need to multiply by this number. And this number, again, is not 4. It is negative 4. So I'm going to multiply the left side by negative 4 and the right side by negative 4. When I do that, I have negative 4 over negative 4, right? I have a negative 4 in the numerator and a negative 4 in the denominator, and so that simplifies to 1 times y, which is just y. And so y is equal to 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. Number 5, I have 16 minus 4x equals 8. I have no parentheses, no like terms to combine, and my variable is already on the left side. So that brings me to step 4. Get the numbers on the other side. I have a number here and a number here. And because my variable is on the left side, I need to move this number over here. So how am I going to get 16 to be 0 on this side so that it can be moved to this side? Well, if I subtract 16 from both sides, that gives us 16 minus 16 on this side, which cancels out. Now, key point here, this term right here comes straight down. And this term is not 4x, it is negative 4x, because that subtraction sign is a negative sign. So I'm left with negative 4x on the left side. Bring your equal sign straight down. On the right side, you have 8 minus 16, which is negative 8. Fifth step is to solve. We want that coefficient to be 1. So I need to divide by that coefficient. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. Those negative 4's simplified to 1. I have 1 times x, which is just x. And here I have negative 8 divided by negative 4, which gives me 2. So x is 2. Last example, number 6. I have negative 4 equals 2 minus x over 3. Okay, I have no parentheses, no like terms, and my variable is on the right side. So let's get the numbers on the other. Let's move this 2 over here. To do that, I would subtract 2 from both sides so that these 2's would cancel, right? 2 minus 2 is 0. So on the left side, I have negative 4 minus 2, or negative 4 and negative 2. They have same signs, so I'm going to add and keep the sign. That's negative 6. Bring the equal sign down. Again, I am left with this term on the right side, and that term is negative. That's what that subtraction sign means. I have negative x over 3. Now, if I have negative x over 3, it can be written like this. It can be written with that negative sign in the numerator. It can also be written with a negative sign in the denominator. All of those are saying the same thing. Now, if you put it in the denominator, then it makes solving this a little bit easier because I have variable on the right side, numbers on the other. So my fifth and final step is to undo this division. I am taking x and dividing by negative 3. So to undo that, I would need to multiply by negative 3, of course, on both sides. Okay, so when I do that, these negative 3's simplified to 1 times x, which is just x. That's my right side. My left side, I have negative 3 times negative 6, which is 18. So x equals 18.